Well, it's a little bit of a sprinkly day, but I am at Stoller Vineyards out in Dundee, and way down the hill is the tasting room, but we're at the best part. We're out in the vineyards, and I'm with Jason, who's Vice President of Vineyards. So really, we're getting a little rain, so is the vines look wonderful, the fruit looks wonderful. Is that okay? It's raining?
Well, it's not ideal to have rain right now in the middle of the summer, but I think what we've done and in the canopy and how we've managed leading up to this point, our grapes are going to be fine. Rain this time of year on the canopy itself, with the fruit hanging out here, that's not very desirable, but that is why we've done all this work to position these shoots and expose these little clusters that are growing by pulling leaves, which allows airflow when the winds pick back up, and then sunlight in the early morning to come in and dry things out quickly. So we're okay.
But what about we're growing them at home? We're maybe growing table grapes. I don't know if everybody's growing wine grapes. So what about the table grapes that we have?
Well, I would argue that they could use this treatment as well right now, especially if you have rain. It really depends on where your table grapes are growing. I do this to kind of capture as much sunlight on this morning side that I can in this very full sun site. It's hot and dry right here. A lot of times you can find table grapes growing in shade. I would say you can pull leaves and expose those grapes, get them out there if they're in the shady zones to get all that airflow and sunlight that you can. If you're in a hot, dry zone though, I'd be careful about pulling too many leaves right now. The hot season is ahead of us and grapes can be sunburned.
Oh, wow. And then what about irrigation? So maybe we're going to go into a dry, hot spot at home. Should we be irrigating?
So if you recently planted these vines 5 years ago or less, perhaps you need to irrigate to get them well established and rooted in. But grapes are very good at mining nutrition and water from the soil. So post 5 years, even table grapes, I don't think you'll need to water that much. Again, if you're in a very hot, shallow soil, I doubt irrigation would help you. It often can trigger your vines to not put fruit out if you over irrigate.
Oh, wow, yeah. And then I know that you go through at some point soon that you'll be thinning, so should we thin table grapes, the clusters?
I have table grapes at home and I don't thin them. They're 5 years old right now. They've got a nice crop on them, but what I've made sure is that they are kind of in a shady spot. I've pulled those clusters, leaves away from those clusters, opened that fruit up to the sunlight. And one thing about table grapes, you don't have to get them as ripe as wine grapes. Wine grapes, we ripen up to 23.5 degrees Brix of sugar. Table grapes are typically brought in at about 18 degrees Brix of sugar, and it's quite a big difference. You probably would never want to make a true finished wine out of that low sugar of table grapes, I'd say.
That's fascinating. I mean, we come out here almost every year or so, and it's always fascinating. We hear something, but we want to see where all of these lovely grapes end up. So we're going to go up and talk to Melissa and see what she's got for us. Thanks so much. This is great.
Thank you. Yeah, cool.
So Jason and I made it out of the vineyard to the best place at Stoller, at the tasting room. And now I'm with Melissa, who's Vice President of Winemaking. So you are the best person here because you have all the scoop. So what should we be drinking this summer?
Well, that's why I'm the best to have the wine, right?
Yes.
So that's a great question, and I think we have the answer here.
Okay.
So first off, Oregon wines tend to be versatile for all seasons, and we have 3 in front of us right here that are great for summer and any season. I mean, all 3 of these wines, we've got a Pinot Noir, a Chardonnay, and a Pinot Noir Rosé. They're all grown here in this cooler climate. They retain a lot of acidity in the grape, so you have these wines that are very fresh, that have a lot of nice fruit, and that will pair nicely, for those 2 reasons.
And so we can just sit on our deck and drink any of these, but we can really bring it into the dining room too.
Absolutely, yeah. We can go, wine by wine. I think we should probably try one.
All right,
first,
yes,
right?
please do.
Jason will
You can do that.
do the honors of pouring this Pinot Noir Rosé, which Rosé, as we all have seen, I'm sure, has gotten extremely popular for consumption here in the United States, and it's for a good reason. Rosé is, spans between a white and a red wine, just with the color, but also with its style. So most rosés, including ours, has this beautiful aromatics, a lot of red fruit, but then again, I keep talking and I'll keep saying this acidity in this rosé makes it really versatile with food. So people think sitting on the porch, that's great, drink your rosé by itself, but also bring it into the dining room. It pairs with salads, with fish, cheeses, and it's also a wine that you can drink all year round.
Wow.
It doesn't just have to be when it's sunny. Like today it's cloudy, you can still drink the rosé.
Right.
But again, in all seriousness, I mean, think about Thanksgiving dinner when you want to have a kind of a multitude of courses. This is a great way to start off that meal, and in the winter as well.
Oh, nice.
So I think rosé is here to stay, but it's also something for you to think about bringing into your meal all year long.
That's great. And so then the Chardonnay too, so both of these look cold, so we should keep those both a little bit chilled.
Yeah, definitely a slight chill to these. You don't have to overdo it, which sometimes I think people will do, and it's not necessarily wrong, but when wines get very, very cold, you can't smell or taste them as well because
sure.
everything's cold. All those aromatics are subdued.
Right.
So a slight chill, put in your refrigerator, take it out for 20 minutes before you drink it. Mid-50s on these too, I think is where I like them both.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's
then,
perfect.
Yeah, and the Chardonnay, we grow a lot of Chardonnay here at Stoller. Oregon is tremendously growing with Chardonnay with popularity, but it's not a lot of it grown in our state. The Chardonnay that we make, again, has a lot of acidity. This is a Chardonnay that doesn't see a lot of oak barrels, so it doesn't have butteriness, it's not heavy, it's got a lot of citrus and freshness, so
perfect.
very versatile with food.
Well, these are just wonderful wines to have for your friends, for yourself, all summer long. So you have to come out to Stoller, come out to wine country, and just enjoy all the bounty. We have almost 800 wineries now in Oregon. So go to the Stoller website, find out how to get here, and then come out and have wine with friends. There you go.
Thank you.
Cheers.